Hi, my name is Jeffrey Drury, and I'm a PhD student at Liberty University. And I wanted to talk to you about my research paper for the class seminar on Southern history. The type of research question I was looking to answer is whether the use of political violence in Louisiana during Reconstruction was effective. Certainly we know it was there, it's well documented, but I wanted to take a look at it in terms of its effectiveness, not its history, but whether the goals that those using political violence, were they reached for them. Now, I used textual research. I went to archives down at the State Museum in New Orleans to look at some documents. I also visited the Louisiana State University archives and their Hill Memorial Library and was able to look at archives there. There were a lot of very good online databases, including newspapers and other journals, such as the Journal of the Louisiana Historical Society, which writes not exclusively, but mainly about Louisiana history. So they certainly had a lot of good information in it. As well, I used several books on the subject to see what other authors are doing, look at the historiography of the subject of violence during the Reconstruction era here in Louisiana. There was also a literature review, as I mentioned, to kind of take a look at what the current thinking was and how that has changed over time. Now, the evidence shows that, in my opinion, that it was not effective. This was the conclusion I reached during the course of study for my paper and writing the paper. That certainly there was a lot of violence and certainly a lot of people were hurt, but the goals of the people using this, and mainly we're talking about ex-Confederates, Democrats here in the state. This is a time that the was occupied between 1865 and 1877, when the troops finally left. The Democrats who had been in control of Louisiana certainly wanted control back. They were thwarted in these efforts by the Republicans, the radical Republicans in particular, and also the use of federal troops to back up the radical Republicans. It was an era of carpetbag rule. Monmouth, the first governor of Louisiana after the Civil War, was from up north, came down during the war, became governor. Much hated man by the Democrats, so as you can see, they certainly wanted to take control. So they used violence against blacks, Republicans, anyone they considered a carpetbagger or a scallywag in the parlance of the day. But they were not able to take control. They did not reach their goals through violent means, but political means. And this is when the compromise of during the election of 1876, the presidential election, between Tilden and Hayes. In return for throwing the support behind Hayes, Rutherford B. Hayes, the Reconstruction era was ended, the troops were removed from the state, and it is after that time that the Democrats were able to seize control. Francis Nichols, a Democrat, former Confederate general, became governor, and the Democrats maintained control of the governor's office and the legislature and most of the political offices in Louisiana up until 1970, when David Treen became the first Republican governor in over a century rather. As far as further research in this area, certainly that could be used. It would be interesting to see how the use of political violence past the Reconstruction into the Jim Crow era. There was certainly a lot of violence even after the Reconstruction ended in through the early 20th century. A good research question, a good research topic would be looking into how effective it was during those periods. Was the goals reached of those using political violence in here in Louisiana, were they reached? Were they successful in using political violence? Thank you. I look forward to your comments.